Hey friends, my name's Mitch, and today we're going to do the tree climbing lion. I'm going to get a glove on, and then we're going to do this in pan pastel on pastel matte. So a little different than what we're used to. Because I wanted this at an odd size, I can only use 2 pieces from the big sheet. And the big sheet is 16 bucks, therefore this is $8 for this little sheet of paper. And you wonder why I don't use pastel matte all that often. $8. Hope I don't make a mistake. So I got all my goodies here, and we'll start off on the background. Let's just do something interesting with the background here. Get that, clean that off. So the background has some whites and greens. Let me see just how garish that this green is going to be. And that is really, really garish right there. See if I can soften that up a bit. All right, and get a little bit of this off-white color. Come over here with that. And turn on my lights. There we go. Let there be light. All right, pastel matte is acting similar to velour in a lot of cases, where it just gets this stuff and hangs onto it. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's start on the line. Get a different applicator and let's see. So what you don't want to do on this is to look at the lion and to immediately go with the color that you see, because the color that you see is a combination of the dark underneath the lion combined with the little hairs on the top there. So what I want to do is I want to get the dark of the lion first, and then we'll come back with the little hairs and do that in pastel pencil. I'm not sure if we're going to do colored pencil or not, but I do know that we need some fairly dark color up here, and then we're going to get it to look a little better with some little hairs. So look at that. That looks pretty good. So we're using pan pastel, and we're sort of blending the pan pastel in here. And I'm not using any big applicators because it's not really a really large space. So what I do want to do is get a nice combination of darks up through here, and then we'll come back later and get the little hairs. All right. Okay, and then down here we have a brown. It's like a light brown right here. Better. Like that. We got the same over here, right here. So we'll get that light brown in there real quick. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's go back. Let's get a darker brown and mix this darker brown with this existing color that we have right there. So an interesting combination between those two. So you have like this darker color here. And then beneath it, it's sort of comboing in with this darker brown color here. So that darker brown there. So we're just going to mix the two. Give us a nice, interesting combination in between there. So you have this nice dark brown combined with that dark, well, like light black or dark gray. And then as you come down, it looks like it goes straight to this dark gray right here. Hey, Deborah. All right. There we go. Get a little bit of this at a time. So I think, just my opinion on this picture, that we have an interesting texture between that black, or that dark gray, and that other dark brown. So I want to respect the darks and not blow those out. So what I can do, so this is Raw Umber Extra Dark. So you have that nice brownish tint to it. And the Raw Umber Extra Dark comes up through here. And then we have like a darker section here. And then it lightens up, but I think it lightens up due to the number of hairs down at the bottom compared to up top. That's what it looks like. So let's maintain these darks here. So this is pastel matte paper with Pan Pastel. I'll give it a shot. Have not done a full pet with Pastel Matte and Pan Pastel. So we'll give it a try. So far I find it interesting that the Pastel Matte grabs hold of the Pan Pastel almost exactly like the velour does, but without that velour bonus softness you get for free. So down here it's lighter, so I'm pressing a little bit lighter, getting just a little bit less Pan Pastel. Just want to maintain that lightness down through here. So you see these blotches right there with this Pan Pastel on the Pastel Matte. So I find that interesting because I had assumed that it would be a little bit smoother than this, but it does not look like it is. And it is 3 times more expensive. Alright, so I don't want to get the same color and use it throughout. So let's, and you got to be careful with that. Even if you see the same color throughout, you want to vary it up a little bit, not like a lot, but you don't want to get one color and use it through the whole pet. So this is Burnt Sienna Extra Dark. It is a little bit more brown, and that's sort of what I see like right here. Right there. So I want to get a little bit of that here, so you have that saturated look to it, because that's really going to make the magic happen once you get up there. And then we can use it here above the eye, because I see a little bit more brownish tint there compared to a little bit up. So again, here above the eye, and then I'm going to go light here because that is almost all white right here. Same thing right there. And then let's see, where else do I see some brown? See some brown like right here. So make sure and reflect that. Get some of that in there. And then I see some brown here, but that's a lighter brown. Some brown there. And you want to make it a little darker than you think you need it. That's just going to do you good. A little darker than you think you need it. Okay, so right here with the hand, that is pretty black. That is really dark. So I have a Pan Pastel Neutral Gray Extra Dark. So right in here, let's get that dark and get it reflected within here. So get that Neutral Gray Extra Dark right beside the hand. On this face, you have this darker area. So let's get some of that in there. Make it nice. And it's still dark here because you have that shadow from his hand, his or her hand. All right, and then I want to get back with that Draw Umber Extra Dark, because that's going to give me a little more of a brownish tint as I sneak up into here. So it's still dark. It's still like this thick, dark gray, but it has a little brown hint to it, and that's what I want. So I'm just sort of going the direction of the fur, because the fur's coming out like this. And let's come up here and grab some of that and come down. So that area is white right there. So I really don't want to mess with that too much. So let's just get some color in here. And again, we're making it darker than we think we need it, due to we're going to put a lot of individual hairs on top of it. All right, so now we come back up here, and that is that brownish like that, and then we're just going to sneak in a little bit here, not a lot. I want something for the white to sit on, but I don't want it really, really dark. So go across through there like that. Alright, so we get more of this extra dark brown, raw umber-ish color, and come up through there. And so this whole thing is dark. This whole thing here is dark underneath the hairs. Alright, and then as we come down, that's dark as well. And then over here, it's a little lighter, but not much. Then we have a fairly dark area coming down through here. Okay, so I like that, and I like that. And then right above the nostrils, it's sort of a light gray. So we're just going to get just the remnants of stuff on our thing and come down. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, where else do we got this? We got all through the body. So let's grab our big old sponge and get some of that. Let's just go down across through here with this large sponge. And that's not smooth at all, is it? Alright, and then up through here. Alright, I like that. It gives me a variance of what I want. And then we're going to come back in with browns, because I do see some deeper brown areas, especially as we're coming down. I like the texture to that. I don't think it's too bad. Alright, and we cut this thing the perfect size for a frame, so we're going to need to go all the way to the bottom, cover every centimeter of this thing. Alright, and I want some browns above this area here. So let's fill in the rest of this. And this over here is a little brownish, so I want to get that other textured thing there. So we got his arm coming down here. And then so down from here down, it's like a darker brown, and I want to be careful right here. That comes to there, but doesn't go any further, because that's a deep brown. All right, so let's patch up some of this brown that we have over here. Right underneath here is a really light, pretty brown. So I have this, and I'm just going to try it out. This could go poorly. Actually, it's not too bad. So get some more of this. We can mix that. Like it's a little too saturated, but that's all right. Again, we're going to come back in here with some other stuff. Let's get this other brown and mix it in. We want to keep it light and airy. So I got two different types of brown in the same shot here. So I got this really, really saturated brown. And then I got this other brown that I'm mixing in with it. Got sort of a combo. And what we're going to do is we're going to get individual white hairs here and make that look a lot better. So I need sort of a blending point between this and that darker umber. So I'm just going to sort of pull those together. Just sort of pull these together like this. Like that. That looks good. All right. So we have the same thing in another section. Let me get a different tip. I have worn this one completely out. One disadvantage of pan pastel, your tools wear out. So now I have to assemble another set here. Alright. right. Okay, cool. So I want to continue this brown up here because this is a pretty important step right here around the nose. I want to mix that light brown with this darker brown and just get a mix. But I don't want it too dark because this is a fairly light area right through here. So I want to keep it soft. Keep it soft right through here, and I want to get some browns that the whites can sit on, because this paper is already almost solid white, and if you just put white hair on top of this white paper, it's going to look absolutely vile, so you don't want to do that. So we're going to mix this brown with this other brown. Get a nice mixture in through here. And that'll give our whiskers something to sit on because it's really white in that area there. Alright, so we come through here. We have like a brownish spot right there. We want to get that reflected. And then underneath that we have another brownish spot here. Okay. And then we can get medium brown, sort of an off-white. We can use that off-white through here. Get that off-white, bring it up through here. That off-white is going to mix with the browns and it'll look nice. So get some of that brown there. Just bring it down through here. And then get that lighter brown. I just want to hit a smidge here just to give it some texture and some saturation. And then hit it with this other brown so you get a mixture of the two. The thing about pastels, you can get a nice mix of colors and it looks pretty good. So you just mix one dust in with another dust, right? And I don't want a harsh transition here, so I'm just going to bring these two dust piles together here. And just have that like that. So that looks pretty good. Alright, so now get this off-white and bring it in through here. And then mix that with a deeper brown, like just a smudge there. Okay, cool. So let's go back and fix this to where it has some whiskers. Like right there. And then get this deep brown here and just sort of come in like that again with the whiskers, like that. Like that. Looks pretty good. All right, and underneath the chin, we have like just an average brown. And it's sort of an off-whitish, brownish. So I'm going to mix. Have another little lion goatee down at the bottom here. So I don't want it all white. I want something for the white to sit on. So what I'm going to do is give a mix to this raw umber and this off-white. Go through like that. There we go. And mix in. Like that. Come back in with some off-white. Just get a nice light area across through there. So that'll give us the goatee base. The goatee base. And I get this really, really dark color, whatever this is, and put some along the mouth area. Just sort of base coat that a little bit, not much. This is definitely going to be a job for pastel pencils. But if I can get a little bit of a base in there just right now, that's kind of nice, right? score a little bit extra. A little bit extra. Bring it in right there. All right, that looks good. So we'll hit the pastel pencils in here and get a lot of this detail. But for now, we can come up through there. There we go. That looks pretty good. We got this little area up through there, like that. There you go. And then get some of this off-white, just so we have something for the whiskers here to sit on. And just make a little bit of a thing there. And I do like this harsh transition. We do need that, so let's keep that. All right. So now we have the brown area over here, and that's going to be a larger area. So let me grab the sponge, and what I want to do is get like this brown, this really saturated brown right here, and just hit that. See, it gives that nice, look at that nice base it's putting in. That nice saturated brown right there. Like that. There you go. That looks pretty good. Just come down in the direction of the hair, sort of right here. And it has that nice gritty feel to it, so that's not too bad. And bring that down into here. We need to go all the way down. This is 11 by 14. We need to cover the entire canvas on this one. All right, and then I want to get that same saturated brown mix, not exactly the same, but I mean pretty close. Get this pretty brown here and get it up into that area there. Because this up here has a lot of really cool texture effects with this light brown. So we can get this, and this is orange shade. So get a little bit of that line-esque color here and put it up in there. I like that. This is going to look real nice once you get the hairs in here. This painting is like 90% little hairs is all it is. So if we can get as much done now as we can, it's going to alleviate a lot of troubles later with this stuff. Especially with this pastel matte, it's just so expensive. And this is a little too saturated compared to the picture. But again, my Moore theory, you need a little more darkness, a little more light, a little more saturation once you start going into once you start wandering behind some glass frames and you're in a poorly lit room, you need a little bit more. And that's going to make everything stand out nicely. Because if you don't have that, it just looks dull and unappealing. There we go, that's nice. That looks good. Let's come over here and do the same thing. Actually, on this other side, I think my biggest concern on this other side is the fact that it's in shade. And if I don't respect that, I think it's... All right, part two. Now that we are completely blowing through all of our tools, I need a fairly dark area inside this ear, and this is Raw Umber Extra Dark. Where's the other one? This is Neutral Gray Extra Dark. So let's get this Neutral Gray, because this is just a black area right here. And I want to reflect that. With a darker color, if I can score it, the darker the better. All right. I mean, that's not like super duper dark, and it has to be. So if you saw any of my other paintings, you have to have your darks be really dark. That does not work for landscapes, by the way. However, for pets, the darker those really black shades are, the better it's going to look. Okay, so that looks alright. Looks kind of odd though. Let's see, where else do I want some really, really darks? I don't think this is going to do me as far as the really darks go. I mean, I can smooge it around, that's fine. Like that. But I think overall I'm just not happy with it. Okay. Alright, and then I have this darker area right here. That seems to be okay. I like that. Need to blend this a little more. Like that. And I do need to hit some darker areas right here. That's really weird. This gray goes on really smooth, but those other colors did not. What if it's like a different binder or a different mixture or something? It's odd. Because down the back, right here, we have a really dark area. I'm going to get that represented. And then this transition has like a shadowy area. I want to get that represented. And then the transition sort of tapers off right about here, so that's fine. And then I want to blend that a little bit, not a ton, but just a little bit. I don't want that harsh of a transition between these two areas, so that looks better. Okay, blend this a little bit more because I'm OCD. All right, I like that. I like this. All right, so let's get back to the ear, and I want to fill in that gap of white there. There we go. So this is going to be all hairs anyway, so I'm not going to nitpick it. What we need to do now is the arm, and it looks to me like the arm is in the center. It looks like this raw umber dark, and then as you move out of that, it looks like a more saturated brown. So let's grab the raw umber dark. Which one is this shit? There it is. Raw umber extra dark. All right, let's grab this. And let's start filling in here. That is not smooth at all, man. This is remarkably disappointing. I mean, I could get the same clumped up on velour at 1/3 the price. It clumps exactly like this on velour, which is odd. It's really odd. I thought this was going to go better on here. Alright, make sure we come all the way down. Because again, this is going to frame. I'm mashing fairly hard. I'm ruining the tools by doing that. but you'll see you just have this weird effect where it's just not going to blend very well. And it's just ruining the tools as you go. Alright, then as we come up, that's a more saturated brown, and we'll get to that in just a second. What I want to do is get the centerpiece of gray up through here. And when I say centerpiece, I mean the middle of his arm, his or her arm. The middle is like a gray, and then it comes outside of that. It's more of a saturated brown. So we just want to get this gray base in here. Like through that. There we go. Alright, now let's get the saturated brown. And what we're going to use for that is this Orange Extra Dark. So it's really, really light, so we're just going to pick up a little. Just going to pick up a little of that and come in through here. And we want to respect that pure white arm hair that's coming out the bottom here. And again, we're going all the way down. And I want to blend that a little bit, like that. That looks good. Alright, and the arm hair sort of comes down like that a little bit. And then as we come up, right here, we have that saturated brown. We're going to use this Orange Extra Dark, so I guess it's more of a saturated orange. And that hits the arm there. And then as we come up still, we have more Orange Extra Dark. So we're just going to smooch this in here. Like that. Yeah, it's looking good. Well, it's not looking good, it's looking blotchy. Whatever. Let's make sure to get a good blend of that gray. And then as we come up, it gets a little bit lighter. Like right here, it starts getting lighter. And then we have some darker spots up in here. Like right here, it's dark. So let's get like a lot of this stuff. Just cake it in there. Right there. It's nice and dark. Then right here, it's a little darker. Like that. And then up here, it's lighter. So what I want to do at this point is, because it's so light up in this area here, I just want to base coat this stuff in here with almost no pastel on it. So just get like a nice light coating right through there. Like that. Get nice light using almost no pastels at all. Okay, and that looks good. Looking at the thumbnail, that actually looks real good. Okay, let's get our more precise detail tool here. And what I want to do is I want to get a big hunk of this off-white color. And I want to just sort of sneak that in there. Just to fill in the little tips of his or her hand here. Like that. Just to make sure that we get all this color in there. That's what base coats are for, right? Just want your color. We kind of smooch this together a little bit. Like that. And fill in these gaps here. Okay, so we'll go back to the future. No, we'll go back to the background. So it was green. And what was I using for that? I think I was using this. So let's get, I'll tell you what I want to do with this I want to get some white and then come over with green. So like I don't want to get the whole thing, so I'm using the other side of the sponge. I don't want to get the whole thing and go over it with green. I want to get this white base, because it is fairly bright, like right here, right? It's fairly bright. And then once I get this white base on here, I'm going to mix in the green. I think that's going to do us good. Like we get this white coming through here, even though it's already light gray and almost white. And then at this point, now we get this green. This is chromium oxide green. So we really need chromium oxide green shade, or whatever the lighter color is. But what we can do, so we got that white in there. Now I'm going to mix this in here. See, I think that worked better. Instead of just this big blotch, I mix that white in there first to give it this nice light, airy feel to it, and then you come back in with this. Has this nice feel to it. It's not too light, it's not too harsh. So we dip in there white again, get a little more of that white and blend that in to that green there. Get that nice transition there, I like that. So you already got green on here. Get this white and mix it in. Get just a smidge more green. Put it in there. And I think that that's going to be enough green to where we can come all the way down here with it. Get that. So grab a bunch of white, dip it light in the green. Come down through here with that. Like that. It's going to look good. Again, snag some white, dip it in the green, mix it up a little bit, and just sort of touch it here and there. More white. Alright, come back in here with more white. I want to change the direction a little bit. Yeah, get that nice airy feel there. A little more green. And a little more white. There we go, got a nice blend to it. Doesn't look half bad. Need like half a tub of white, but okay. Alright, then as we come up through here, I need to get rid of all that. Maybe put enough white up there, and then use that here to blend into just the solid paper. And so you get a little white and mix it in with green. Should have bought that light green shade. I think that would have been perfect for right here. So mix and blend this. I'm going to get pretty close to the lion S and the lion or whatever this is. Like that. And then I do still want a little bit more of this green action down through here. And again, more white. I see a pattern. half a gallon of white mixed with a little green. In my world, that's called Pan Pastel Green Shade, which I don't have. So we'll wing it. All right, let's see. That looks all right. Still need some more white-green combo. So I can come in here with this off-white and get some just action in here. What I don't want to leave is plain paper. I think that's going to do us wrong. So I have this off-white. This is Raw Umber Tint. So it would do us pretty good to have a little bit of the lion's color in the background, because that's going to make it not stand out quite as much. And Raw Umber Tint is going to give that nice little bit of brown in there, in between the greens. So let me go ahead and put a bunch of this. I know we have greens over here, but I do like this brown sort of tint coming down through there. All right. Okay, nice. Now we need a little green. Not too much. Do not have green tint. Definitely on my to-buy list. So we need a little light green here, because we got this tree action coming up. And so we need a little darker-ish green section right there. Like that. That looks pretty good. Need a little green here maybe. Break up the browns. Like that. That looks pretty good actually. Not bad at all. Alright. So I got the arm. I got all this stuff. So let's get a preview of what we're going to do next time. Oh, we need to do the tree still. That's going to be a lot of work. Might do the tree in probably all pencils. So let me show you what we're going to do essentially. We're going to get a white pastel pencil. Wow, I have a lot of pencils, man. Alright, what is that? Alright, we're going to get a white pastel pencil. And essentially we're just going to come in here and make a bunch of little hairs. Next time, you sharpen this up nicely and then come in through here and make a bunch of little hairs like this. Pencil needs to be a little bit sharper, but whatever. Like that, and we'll rubber band like 4 of these together, so we'll make it pretty quick. But that's essentially what we're going to do, is just make a bunch of little pencil marks there. What I do want to do, as far as the tree goes, I think we have a problem. The tree is more complex than the lion. So I'm really not sure at this point whether I should just dumb it down and make it not as detailed, because my issue is, if I make it too detailed, your eye is going to go directly to the tree before it goes to the lion, and that is just going to be a frickin' problem. I mean, so I'm not really sure what to do at this point. I do know that we need like a darkish red for the tree, and I'm not sure if I have that or not. Let me look real quick, see what I have in Pan Pastel. So I do have this, which doesn't look like the tree at all, really. This is red iron oxide shade. So I guess my biggest concern for this is I'm going to have to mix it with a couple of other different colors in order to get it looking good. Yeah, because the tree is not just this one color. The tree is all these different intricate little bitty color sections coming together. This blends really well. Maybe it's just that one color that didn't blend. I don't know. So I think the problem is that we're going to have is the tree is like 15,000 different colors. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to score like we did over here with the lion. I'm not sure we're going to be able to score the whole thing at once. So it's kind of bothering me. What I think is going to happen is I'm going to have to come in here with like 9 different pan pastels and do that. Especially because once you start sneaking up towards the lion's hand, there's this shaded area underneath his hand. So you can't just get this unshaded color and put it into this shaded section by itself. What you have to do is come in here and put some of it and then come back to your black color, and then the black color is going to have to just glaze over that color. Does that make sense? So you're going to get that color and then put black in it and glaze it over the other color like this. And then like sort of unnatural, because you can still tell that that color is the same as that color. So, and in addition, we have this odd gray. I'm not sure what to do about it. And the odd gray has a pattern here coming down. So again, I'm not really sure how to deal with this. I know this is probably going to be mostly colored pencil, so we will come back and address that later. How much time do I have? Give about 8 minutes. So we'll just spend 8 minutes sort of screwing with this. I got this area here. And the good thing about the tree, unless your spectator knows the reference photo, as long as your tree looks sort of like a tree, it's all right. That's the thing. If you're doing a people portrait, that person has seen that portrait person thousands and thousands of times. So if the eye is a quarter of a centimeter off, they're going to know it. But if you're just painting a tree, nobody has ever seen it before. So as long as it looks sort of like a tree, all right. And that is the bonus, right? So I know pan pastel is pretty good for making bark. That's a problem. As we come down, it gets lighter. So let me get this umber tint and just sort of mix that in, and maybe a little white too. A little white, mix that in. So we have this tinted section right here, because this is highlight. I went through 2 of these. I've burned through, 3 applicators so far. And just put down the base coats. I'm not really pleased with this stuff. I thought pan pastel was going to be a little bit more impressive to me, but it turns out it's not. Alright, so that's coming down through there. Mix it with these 2 colors. And we got to go all the way down. Alright, so we have this nice highlight area here. And then we're going to need some of this gray as we come up. And mix the gray with a little bit of that brown tint. I don't want it to be this harsh, because this is sort of still in the highlight area, but not all the way. So with that mixed with that, you get that nice highlight area here. So it looks pretty good. Get that, mix it with this. Make sure we're going the direction of the bark. That looks alright. Get like a more red here. You don't want red only on the edges, you want red everywhere. You want red here, there, and everywhere. And then as you come through here, it's really dark. So let's get this pure darkness here. Get this nice shaded area right there. And we will sharpen our pastel pencils to a razor sharp tip to get ready for next time, because we definitely do need those to be sharpened. Did I say sharped? I must be retarded. It is sharpened. Alright, so I do want a dark here. That's shadowy. All right. That comes out there. That looks all right. And there's a shadowy area here. All right, cool. A little more shadowy than that. All right. And then up here, it's a shadowy red. So we'll get some shadowy, mix it with a red, and then get this darker area up there. A little more shadowy, a little more red. Get a mixture up here. All right, so it looks all right for me, just a base coat, beginner type thing, and we're running out of time anyway. So I'm going to stop the stream, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today.